What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. What's going on? Welcome to another transfer update / news update. I'm here with DJ. What are you saying, bro?
Bro, I'm good, man. Just chilling, and some news was broken today, and we're gonna get into it.
That's exactly what's going to happen, man. Marcus Rashford. We're going to talk a lot about that. His injury, his surgery, his up-and-coming surgery. We're going to talk a little bit about Paul Pogba, a little bit about Kieran Trippier as well. But first of all, big up to everyone in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. Smash a like on the video. You lot know what it is. Normally, I do a little bit of a weather update because for some mad reason, when it was like 30 degrees, I was so gassed that I was just telling everyone that it's 30 degrees around the world. And then the weather went shit, and then I stopped doing it. But I can confirm again, the weather is back to being shit again. It is like torrential rain, awful showers on and off. So let us know what your weather's saying and where you're watching from. But let's get straight into this, DJ, man. Marcus Rashford has finally, and the club have finally agreed for him to go and get this operation. He's supposedly going to be out to the back end of October. He's going to miss the first 3 Champions League group stages. He's going to miss games against Leicester and Liverpool in the meantime. First of all, from a Marcus Rashford point of view, we can talk about what it means for us and why this didn't happen before. But for a Marcus Rashford point of view, it's got to be a good thing that he's now finally going to get this seen to.
Yeah, I think 100%, man. I think Marcus really, really needed this. These were niggling injuries from last season that he just kept on playing through. And, I think just for him and his general health and his longevity as a football player, I think it's good for him to get these done now. And, if he can get them done now, he can be back sooner for us and he can be healthy, and he can kick on in his career.
Yeah, that's what it is, man, because we haven't seen a fit, healthy Marcus Rashford solidly at 100% for a long time. We had the back injury, not last season, the season before, that limited him. And then it went, and then he was out for ages. Then he came back this year, the following season, which was last year. Still wasn't quite 100%. Then he had the ankle problem as well. We forgot about that ankle. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? That's another one. And I've just, like you said, for longevity of his career, I know that Marcus Rashford's never going to take himself out of a Man United lineup. So long as he can breathe and so long as he can stand up, it doesn't matter what he's got wrong. He's do you know what I mean? He's just a warrior. Like he's a warrior and he's Man United through and through. But I've always wanted the player to get a little bit of protection. Do you know what I'm saying? And it feels like that doesn't always happen because they let Marcus kind of say, I'm playing, I don't care. And look, it's his right to do that. And he's still, considering how injured he has been, he's still put up numbers, bro. Like he's still been one of our most important players. I know his consistency levels of performance and stuff haven't been there, but in terms of the numbers, he's still been there, scoring big goals for us. So it's I just want to see him back at 100% fit, focused Marcus.
Yeah, man. You know what it is with Marcus as well. I think, for him to be putting up those numbers that he did for us and for the performances at the start of the season that he put in, I'm looking at it now, like hindsight's 2020. So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at, man, he must have put a lot of effort and a lot of strain on the body for him to put in those big, big performances that he did and get the tallies and get the numbers on the board and get the goals and the assists that he did. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just hoping, and I think every United supporter is hoping that, he's not going to be out for too long and it's not going to cause any long-term effects. And you're right. I think he should have been, saved from himself. Footballers to me are similar to, fighters and boxers because they're competitive. They never want to turn down a fight or a game. They always want to be in the starting 11. And I think maybe the pressure of the Euros coming up as well was something where he was like, listen, I can't even afford to have 5 games out, 10 games out, whatever, how long he's going to be out for. I think he just tried to prioritize and say, you know what, I'm gonna play through the injuries, and then literally, Euros are next coming up, so I need to be fit for those. So, big up to Rashford that he's going to get it done, and all the best to him.
100%, I agree with you. One Rovers vlog says, watching from Bristol, UK, keep smashing the content flex. Big up DJ as well. A lot of love for DJ, man. Someone else said big up DJ as well. So that's all love. Love that. For me, there's another argument of people saying like, hold on a minute. And this isn't Rashford's fault, right? Because we just want him to be fit and ready and ready for us, more importantly. Some people have been saying, wait, he should never even have been allowed to go to the Euros. He should have got to the end of the season, even though it was mash up at that time. And you say, yo, off you go. Off you go. In it, off you go in.
Yeah.
When was that final? May the 4th, I think it was.
May 4th,
Something like
yeah,
that.
May 4th.
May 4th, yeah.
Yeah.
May the 5th. See you later. So that would have been all of May to recoup, all of June to recoup, all of July to recoup.
Yeah, you're right.
Ready for April, and he kind of, and then he would have maybe missed a little bit of April.
Yeah.
August, and then would have been back maybe early September. I don't know, maybe late August. I don't know. But some people are having that argument that why did he even go to the Euros? Do you see why he did go to the Euros, or would you have preferred him to, someone to pull rank and say nah?
Yeah, do you know what? I think from a personal standpoint, I think Marcus going to the Euros was a personal decision on him. Like we got to think about it. Like this England team is probably the best it's been in years. Like literally in terms of attacking flair and the type of players that are coming through. I thought he just wanted to be a part of that. He's actually one of the I would say he's one of the most experienced players actually in that England team in terms of the young cropper guys coming through, because he came in at a young age and he was playing in big games at a young age. So I think he wanted to be a part of that for personal reason. And imagine, he's with all these boys, isn't it? He's with the Sanchos, he's with Grealish, he's with all these different players. And they're in the WhatsApp groups like, yo, man, we're going to the Euros. And he wanted to be a part of that. He wanted to come to the party. Do you know what I mean? He didn't want to sit at home.
Man United pay his wages, though.
You know what? I hear that. You know what?
Is what the other side would say. They would say, listen, going for a lads holiday, it's Euros and that, but linking up with the boys to play FIFA in the hotel rooms and that and do training is nice. But where does that leave you for when we need you, when we come back and we're paying you 250 grand a week? I'm not saying it's about money. I'm just saying the other side of the argument are coming with the energy of, that's great, but Man United pays wages. He's their player. Why have they not pulled rank and said, you need to be fit for us for the start of the season? I'm kind of more relaxed on it, but I have seen a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I do think that, like Man United and maybe even, I think Southgate did him a favour not playing him too much. I think that was agreed with between maybe United and England. Like, look, we're going to allow him to go because he really wants to go. He kind of deserves to go. But, can you not play him too much? We don't want to aggravate any existing injuries that are there. And he played sort of like a bit part play. But my whole thing is, and maybe I'm a little bit critical, is that there's no point you go into the Euros to not take part fully. There's no point going halfway with it. Like,
well, that's what Pyramid Scheme just says right there. He says he barely played at the Euros. He thought he could get a free medal.
Pyramid Scheme with that comment, man. It's cheeky. But what I'm saying is, though, I do believe that, United should have maybe been a little bit strong with him and said, look, Marcus, next season is important for us. We need you. You're a big part of the plans. Like, by you going to the Euros, you're delaying surgery, you're delaying all these things. For me, I think the decisions come a bit late, in my opinion. We're on the eve of the season, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe our biggest season since Fergie's gone, and he has to sit out for an extended time. We've got the players to cover, but I don't think that's the point. I think with him, it's good that he's getting it done for his personal health. But on the United side, as a selfish fan, because it's easy when you're sitting at home, innit? But
yeah,
I wish he would have maybe done this just before the Euros at the end of the final.
I agree. Andre Beckles makes a good point. Says, I get participating in the Euros, but how many minutes did he get there? United has poor management with their players. I feel like there's quite a few layers to this, and it depends how black and white you want to be with it and how stern you want to be with it. If you really want to be stern and black and white, you're like, mate, I don't give a crap. He's a Man United player. He's one of our best players. We need him. We tell him you're not going to the Euros because you need to heal. But with the Marcus Rashford that we all know and love, and most of us have that emotional connection to, like what you said, I agree. He's going to want to be around that squad. He's going to want to have the chance to prove some sort of fitness as well and take his chance, even though he didn't get that much minutes. But he would have gone there believing, someone could get injured or I could convince Gareth otherwise. I'm ready to go if I'm needed. And even, obviously, after the penalty miss in the final, his statement afterwards, which he, in my opinion, didn't even have to come out and do, but in true Marcus style, he likes to have accountability and stuff. He was saying, I haven't felt confident, I'm going to go again hard. It was almost like he was drained. He was just drained. And I think really and truly, you're right. He could have just done with, you know what, or May the 5th, you're off now. You're off for like a good 3-4 months now. Go get the operation. Go chill. Don't worry about training day in, day out for England. and then having to go on the bench and then come on for a little bit, and just because he's still training every day at a high intensity to try and be ready. Because if two people would have got injured in that position, he would have to play. So yeah, I just think with the Rashford situation, you're gonna go one way or the other. You're either gonna be really strict on it, like I don't care, this is what the club needed to do, they didn't do it, and now he's not ready. Or like you said, we've got the players to cope with it. We've got Sancho at the perfect time. He's gonna, even though he's not gonna get as much pre-season as we would have liked, but he's working hard, but he's going to be ready quicker than Rashford will. So if there was ever a time for Rashford to be out for 3 months, it will be now.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Ahmad there. Mason's ready. Martial's back fit again, or will be. So in a way, we can cope with it. Like, I hear what you're saying. We can cope with it, but at the same time, we pay him a lot of money in as our player. So I kind of do see both sides on this. But I'm happy to kind of say, you know what? I'm more concerned for his, like you said, his longevity. Like, I know when you're young, you're fearless, you're invincible, but boy,
like it's one of those things where he plays at such a high intensity, and he's a player that is fast. So if you remember from the players like Giggs and all these fast players back in the day, later on in their career, they started developing hamstring injuries because they were fast players. They've always got to be 100 miles an hour, and use that pace and the skill. And Father Time does kick around now. I'm not saying Marcus is 23 now, 24, 22, around that age bracket. Father Time ain't going to be anytime soon. However, injuries do hamper that and bring Father Time quicker than you may want. So it's good for him that he's getting it done. I believe he should have got it done earlier. And this is the thing, that the critics will say, oh, Man United should have been a bit more forceful with him and say, no, Marcus, you're not going. I believe if it was Fergie, and I'm sorry to bring out Alex Ferguson, but I believe if it was Fergie would have held him back, man. Fergie would have said, listen, you can cuss, fight.
He didn't give a shit about no international. He used to make up, when you read the book, and he used to make up bare excuses of why players can't go. He don't want no one going internationals.
Exactly.
Fergie was on it.
And that's the difference, Solskjaer looks like he can be talked around. Do you know what I mean? He looks like he can be quite compromising, and he can, Fergie would sometimes say, listen, you're going to hate me for a month, but it's for the greater good, And I believe, in my opinion, that should have been done, And then he would have been back for the season fresh. Yeah,
no, I agree. And obviously we're not going to get a Marcus Rashford back for the season and fresh now. We've got a Marcus Rashford who needs to go and sort himself out, which is going to be fine. Which we need that to happen. Chinfei says, can't blame United for Rashford going to the Euros. The season was over. It's Rashford's decision. It's not like Liverpool blocking Salah going to the Olympics because it clashed with pre-season. I hear that and that's what I mean. And that's what I mean about this, the emotional connection and kind of what Rashford is to United, and kind of, I suppose, the weight that he holds with what he's a very high profile player. He's a high profile England player, and I suppose legally, I mean, they couldn't stop him going there. It's not like they can choose between the Olympics and now. It doesn't come through the season, but I don't know if the player's injured though. If you own the player and he's injured, and you think that by going to what if he went to the Euros? This is just hypothetical, and I'm going to ask you guys: if he went to the Euros and I don't know, got barged over by someone and went over on the same elbow and then tore it or made it worse, Jesus Christ! I touch wood that hasn't happened and won't. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, that would make it worse. Well, not 100%. Hypothetically, it would make it worse. So maybe Man United can block it if the player's injured. I don't know. That's a question for you guys.
Yeah, you know what, Flex? Just to dovetail on what you're saying there, I think 100%. I think United could have maybe been a bit more responsible. I think that's the key word here. Been a bit more responsible with Marcus Rashford, and as we're saying, young guy wants to be around the rest of the England team. best England team since I can't even remember. I probably wasn't even alive them times since the last best. England team. No offense, but Rashford wanted to be a part of that, and I think United could have put their foot down and said, look, there's going to be other Euros, World Cups coming as well. There's going to be other competitions. Get yourself fit, 100% fit, because shoulder injuries and joints and stuff like that, they take a while. To strengthen that joint again. If you've ever had anyone in the free seats and all of that stuff, if you ever had a shoulder injury, you'll know those don't heal overnight. It takes a while, and sometimes it never even be the same again. So, I think the decision came too late, Flex, and I think United could have definitely put their foot down. But it is weird because from the amount of time he played, right, I think there was a discussion with England and Southgate. I think there was a discussion to limit his playing time.
You think? Oh, because he's not 100%.
Yeah. So if they knew that, then now we're getting critical with it. You know what I'm saying? Now we're getting
yeah.
But yeah.
But it's true. It's a fair point, though, DJ. It's a fair point, because if they did know that, then you have to ask a question. Maybe it would have been better to keep him if you know that he's going to go there. Not, but clearly, what they've done, I think, is gone to the more emotional side. You know, the whole the emotional side that is drawn to, look, it'll be great for Marcus to be there, like you said, with the guys. He's a big team member. Instead of going down the line of upsetting the apple cart and pissing Rashford off, because he would have been pissed off because he clearly wanted to be there and be around it.
Yeah.
And doing it, because clearly, if the Euros wouldn't have been there, he obviously would have just gone and got the surgery.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't like, but I think also because he hasn't been in good form, like the last sort of 8 weeks of the season, if that, maybe 6 weeks, maybe he was really struggling for form, really just not looking himself, which he'll be the first to admit. And he finished that performance in the Europa League final. That for me summed up where Rashford was at. He just needed a long layoff, sort himself out, and then come back stronger, you know, with his shoulder fixed and that. Not go off and train and keep that intensity up and be ready. I just didn't feel that. But at the end of the day, it is just one of them thing. COVID, because I was going to talk about the players getting COVID. We were talking about that today when you was messaging me and stuff like that. And I'm sure a lot of Manchester United fans have been talking about that. I don't know if there's a live update coming through, because everyone seems to be saying that there isn't. So Manchester United statement. Okay, after further testing yesterday and today, we can confirm that there are no positive cases within the first team group. Okay, so that is an official club statement. And that is an official update as we are live right now. One of the perks of being live. So that worry that you had earlier, DJ, when you was hollering me saying, "Boy, it could be peak flex. It's 9 man out." And I said we don't know who it is. We don't know whether it's just precautionary because someone got pinged in the group. It could have been that. A couple of players could have just got the ping thing saying you might have been around someone, and that's enough to get a game postponed, because then that person who's been pinged has been around the whole first team squad. So it was a precautionary thing, as people are saying in the chat. Uncancel the game then. Do you know what? What day is it today? Oh, the game would have been tomorrow, isn't it? Now, obviously,
it's too short notice.
Happy day, says Star Lord. Safio says great, and Pat says excellent. So obviously, everyone very, very happy about that. And William says, "Boy, I'd like to support the hustle with some 1.2k every other week or so. But I'd like to be involved from Canada." Mark has been nervous. Mark has not been nervous. Don't you listen? Don't you guys worry about Mark. Mark is Let's focus on this. Everybody is fine. Positive vibes. Everybody is fine. Cancel the cancellation, says Brad Collin. That was, I was going to get on to talking about that. It's so funny. Just as I got to that moment that people were saying there was an update, and we've just heard it. Because my next question was going to be, boy, how concerned are you about it? But I think that kind of just puts an X over that, because no one's got it.
I was scared, Flex. I was messaging you frantically, like, yo,
like,
what are we gonna do? Like, what if this is a thing, And like, literally, positive vibes all the way, man. God is good. Like, people are healthy. That's the main thing. Not even the football. Take the football aside. Like, players are healthy, and that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess we can kind of scratch that off the list now, man. The boys are fine. We can kind of push on now.
Yeah, that's the main thing, and we need the players back ASAP. I think the rest of them are coming back on Monday. Paul Pogba's now back as well. I want to touch a little bit on Kieran Trippier before we talk about some other things. The latest coming out of there is that Manchester United want him still, which we already knew. The latest is that he's prepared to wait right up, and his understanding that he's going to wait right up until even deadline day, because Manchester United need to get some players out. Yeah. Do you want us to wait that long for him and really try and push the boat out to try and get him?
Yeah, so I think the priority this summer was definitely, Jadon Sancho, maybe a CDM at the same time. I'm glad that Trippier is on the radar, because I do think we need to strengthen in that position. 100%. I do not mind waiting to the end of the window. Varane and Sancho were our prime targets. We've got them now. We've done the bulk of our business. So now we can start, offloading a few players, get some loan deals, and then start looking at, the other areas such as the right back, which I think over time has been sort of, how can I put it? It's been blown up a lot. Like, it's been blown up a lot about Wan-Bissaka, but for me, he played okay last season. He played good. He improved. And that's what we wanted out of. We want our players to improve.
Do you think Trippier's better than him? Do you think Trippier's better than him? Some people are actually saying outright, listen, he's better than him.
I think Trippier is mature, way more like a matured footballer. I think Wan-Bissaka, in terms of defending, no one in Europe comes close to that guy. No one. However, overall game in terms of what we need, intelligence, experience, whipping the ball in, Trippier's your guy. So it's a good competition to have on the right side of the field. You know what I mean? And it depends who we play. Sometimes we're going to need to defend a little bit more than we want. So Wan-Bissaka might be the guy that you need. Other times, we want to be a bit more expansive. We want to get forward. We want to use the wings. We want to play fast football and quick attacking football. Trippier's then your guy. So it's a good problem to have. I'd love Trippier. I think waiting towards the end of the window is quite smart from United. He wants to go. I think he's in his last year now at Atletico.
Yeah,
they're just going to apply the squeeze to Atletico in the final weeks of the transfer window. I'm happy with that, because if we didn't get Sancho or Varane, then I would be like, what are you doing, United? But we've got Sancho and Varane. I think next is a midfielder by all accounts. I'm guessing, if we can raise the money and get a midfielder in, I think that's our next point of call. I don't mind waiting for the end of the window for Trippier.
Yeah, it's very mixed in the comments. I'm going to come to the comments because everyone's having their say on it. Santiago says, do you think the decision to have the surgery now indirectly keeps Dan James or Martial at the club, suddenly lucky to have extra depth? That's a good question. Maybe not so much Martial, because I think he was always going to stay this year. Yeah. I think I could see Martial being used next year to fund the Haaland thing. I've just got that. Yeah. I've not seen any sources or anything say that. I've just got that in me. Like, do you know what I mean? I've almost made that scenario up to say that actually would be a good scenario next year if Haaland stays where he is. There's 70 whatever million price tag he's going to be with the release clause. You say, here's Martial. He's had a bit of a better season this time. Yeah. So that Martial's worth, we bought him for 50. He goes for, say, 40. Yeah, let's say between 40 and 50 again, maybe a little bit less. Yeah. And here's however much on top. Maybe that. I don't know. But do you think it's indirectly kept Dan James at the club?
I think it has. I do think it has, because Ahmad, for as good as he is, I don't think Ollie's seen enough of him just yet for him to trust him with a starting berth in this team. I think it will come eventually. However, Dan James, you know what you're going to get with him, and it fills a slot. So while Rashford is out, but what I was thinking anyway would be, if push comes to shove, you just put Jadon on the left to take Rashford's spot, because he can play left. He can play all the three positions. And then just put Mason back on the right, who did okay on the right. He's not an out-and-out winger, but he was a threat from the right. So Mason and Sancho, I wouldn't be upset with that. I think Dan James is a bench player at best. But I do think he's going to have to stay now, because just in case any further injuries happen, we'll be sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Exactly. Because if there's an injury to, say, Jadon in the first whatever, then all of a sudden you've only got Martial and Greenwood and Dan James. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not dissing that, but I'm just saying that is a real situation. Plus, Sancho could need a couple of weeks to get it fit. Like I said, he's only going to play. This game got cancelled the other day for tomorrow, even though he wouldn't have been there. Yeah. Like I was saying on a good few shows, these first team players are only going to get to play against Everton, bro. And then they have to go a whole week of training and then be ready for Leeds after one game. I was saying, get the friendlies in behind closed doors or something. Call up Gary Neville's Salford, whatever. Go play against them quick. At Carrington, you have to, bro. Because I don't think Sancho and Varane are going to be ready for the Leeds game.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You know what I mean? I think, and it depends. I'm wondering if other teams are going to be in that same boat. At the end of the day, it's tough, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is before it's not about just going on a football pitch and playing a game. In terms of 90 minutes, high intensity pro football, you need to have that preparation time. You need the minutes on the pitch. You need minutes on the training ground. You know what I mean? You need your diet right. You need everything and the preparation right. And that preparation is going to be delayed a little bit due to obviously competitions and people signing new deals and people not playing as much. We're going to be behind. So I think I said it the other day, I think the first couple of weeks of the season, we're going to have to grind out some results. We're going to have to. We're going to have to really dig deep, maybe use our bench a little bit more. The Dan Jameses and stuff, we're going to have to probably come in just to sort of float the ship a little bit until the big boys are back, until they're up to speed.
Or the big boys could be not so much a centre-half, because halfway through the game, you don't change your centre-half. So Varane's going to just have to get a start at some point and play. But the likes of a Sancho and stuff, maybe he might have to be on the bench for the first game or two, come on 60, 70th minute, get 15 minutes in the tank against Leeds, 20 minutes, whatever. Next game against, don't even know who we got next after that. I can't remember. Is it Southampton away? I think. So, yeah. Whoever it is, then come in and gradually get into it. Hopefully I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe Solskjaer gets him in when he comes back on Monday, I think it is, gets him in and says, okay, you're going to get a start against Everton. See how you go. Take you off after 70 minutes. Yeah. Get 70 minutes, then train the whole next week. You're looking sharp. Go again for Leeds, and I'll take you off after and bring Dan James on when you're tired after 75 minutes, 80 minutes against Leeds. Maybe he might do that. I don't know, but it was just a little bit of a concern that I had. Yeah,
you know what, Flex, man? I think that if United are smart, they can get out ahead of the games, yeah? And I'm not talking about making excuses about protecting your players. If Oli comes out and says, you know what, Sancho's chomping at the bit to play, however, some of my players are a little bit unfit.
Yes, yeah.
You can't then blame him if his performances aren't to the standard of the amazing Jadon Sancho.
Take the pressure off. It helps take the pressure off, yeah.
Take the pressure off. I think United and their PR team should come out and just be like, yeah, a few players were struggling for fitness at the moment, but we're working.
But also, it's true though. Like, I know we laugh and say like Oli lies, and we have a laugh about it and that, yeah. But that actually is true. Like, he's on the treadmill doing a few weights in the hotel or the apartment he's staying at. That's not training. He's coming back to training this week, and we're saying that you've only got one game to get yourself up to speed to then start against Leeds in a high tempo, energetic game. Some may say, listen, he cost 77 million. Of course he could do it. Like, he's all right. But for me, I feel like, ideally, and it's not Solskjaer's fault, because these players they're human beings. They need their time away from football. They just need time away. You need to replenish. You need to refresh yourself. But so it's not Ollie's fault, but it's a real situation. It's not. He wouldn't be lying if he said that.
Yeah, no, you're right, Flex. And sometimes like I like to think we're very intelligent football fans, and I know a lot of people that watch United View right now are very intelligent football fans. However, you do get the odd idiot casual fan that, they can play straight away. Nah, this is high intensity football. Like, they need to make sure that the prep is right and that they're physically fit and ready to go into these games, because Everton's not going to be no walk in the park. Do you know what I mean? So I do think that we'll suffer a little bit, but as I said, if PR team can get out there and we use our full squad, like we seen the other day, Matic looks good this preseason. We might have to use Mata and these guys coming in. Donny's looking okay. Like, we've got enough, but we need to float the ship, as I said,
William says the vibe is real. Thanks for the super chat. It says, as for Man United, we are in a title race, hopefully. And back to that Trippier thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
Look, Trips is better going forward. Wan-Bissaka is better, but Trippier has more experience, which is you were saying about he's very experienced. Trippier and Wan-Bissaka will be another De Gea and Henderson. What do you say to that? Is it? I don't think it'll be that.
Look, the other day you was getting annoyed about the Varane thing, and you really felt passionate about it. The thing that I really feel passionate about is every time United get a squad that's decent and we got maybe multiple positions figured out, everyone wants to come and say, "Oh, how's Greenwood gonna play because Sancho's here?" Like, look, at the end of the day, football is not even a first 11 game anymore. Yeah, it's not you can't win things all the time with your first 11. You got to rely on the squad for the remainder of the season. A lot of games, a lot of cup competitions, players are going to be in and out of form. Players need to eat bench sometimes. Players will start. Like, that's the nature of the game now. It's evolved since a few years ago, right? I remember Fergie could put on the same 11 every week, hardly any injuries, get the win. Now it's different. The league's evolved. Teams have got better. So you need a bigger squad. And, I think Trippier coming in is going to be a wealth of experience. He's just won a title. You pair that with Varane, you pair that with De Gea, you pair that with Maguire, you pair that with Shaw. Do you know what I mean? Like, you pair that with Pogba, World Cup winner in the squad as well. Like, I'm telling you now, like, that level of experience, I think we should have been trying to bring in a few years ago. I think that's what's been missing. The spine automatically now, if we get Trippier in, that spine of that team looks beautiful. You add a CDM and that's the cherry on top of the cake, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree with you on that, and that is the check. Like you said, that's what we need. We need this. We're starting to need the cherry on the cake. So, Wan-Bissaka for CDM, says Trench. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Trench, I think you're in the trenches, bro. I think you're in the trenches. Listen, I have to disagree with that. I would never. Anyone can come on here and say exactly what their opinion is, but Wan-Bissaka at defensive midfield, can't see that, man. Can't see that, my friend.
You know what? It reminds
Mr.
you of that. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on. No, go on. What does it remind you of?
It reminds you of one time you was doing an Instagram live and there was that guy and he didn't know nothing about United and you started asking him questions like, "What, did we win the league last season?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so." He's like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah, again. I remember that. What was that? What was that, a fan cam or was it? What was that?
It was an Instagram live.
Oh yeah. Yes, he was suspect to me. Yeah, he was. I can smell it a mile off, mate. Get out of it. To be fair, Mr. B says, to be fair, I know the COVID outbreak and Olympics/injuries might hamper us, but with our squad, I expect at least 80 points and Champions League quarterfinals and compete in the cups. Yeah. 100%. You know, yes, COVID can always play a part. We have to live with this disease or illness or virus, should I say. We have to live with this virus in our society. And the likeliness is that, you know, players will get it throughout the course of the season. It's probably natural that someone's going to get it and have to isolate or whatever. So, but with the squad, unless there's a, you know, like touch wood, you know, 8 players at once get it and we can't field a proper side for a few games or whatever. I don't know. But you're right. I still think we should be able to, you know, mount a serious challenge, go deep in the cups, 100% quarterfinals minimum in the Champions League.
Yeah.
These are all realistic and achievable targets. And I don't think they're out of this world with the squad that we've got and the money that we're investing.
Yeah, like I think it's reasonable to ask that, you know, we can kind of cover what's going on. And there's so much money in the Premier League right now, like everyone knows that they're going to put the proper protocols in. I don't think they're going to try and risk people and risk players. They're going to bring back all the bubbles and stuff like that. I think that needs to continue for the Premier League to be effective this season anyway, and to keep people safe. And I know United fans, not United fans, but football fans in general, we're going to be selfish. We want our team. Yeah, we want them to play every week, want everyone healthy. But the reality is we're in a pandemic still. We're coming to the end of one. But it's still going to be there. Coronavirus just hasn't disappeared. It's still there. And, you know, I'm hoping that the Premier League and United and everybody involved can kind of keep these players safe, keep their families safe as well, you know?
Absolutely. That's the main thing. And we've got to be patient with that throughout the season. But at the same time, we still got to have expectancy on the team, which we do. But it's realistic. It's realistic. Yeah. Tavares says, do you guys have any update on the Parliament Plus and the 50+1 rule? We need the Glazers out of our club. Keep up the good work, guys. Big up and Glazers out. The last I heard of it, Tavares, is that they've got enough people to sign it. So it's with Parliament. We haven't heard anything since. So we will keep you guys updated. I'm sure you guys will all be looking out for the news on that as well. You know, to take it back to the Glazers, etc. I've said many times with this transfer window, there are reasons to celebrate because, look, we all want the Glazers out, but we still want this team to perform and we still want the money invested in the squad. And that's what's happened. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we forget about everything. And it's like what Tabara says there. What's going on with the ownership? What's going on with the shared ownership? Are they going to give up a percentage to the fans? Are they going to be able to? DJ's gone. Someone's probably rang him. Probably didn't have his thing on Do Not Disturb. I don't know. I'll take him out until he comes back. Where is he? He's nearly back. But yeah, we can't forget. Basically, we cannot forget. So as long as we know that those things are still going on in the background, that's got to come with year-on-year proof. Like, not after one transfer window. I said all along, we could have got Neymar, Mbappe, and Haaland in this transfer window. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're not going to forget what's happened, and one transfer window is not going to change that. Lucas Chan says, hit the like button, help Flex and the gang to help the show, to get the love on the show. Big up to you. And someone in the chat was talking about Grealish, 100 million, Man City. And this is not the pessimistic vibe, but this is just a reminder that, one, it shows just why we had to get our targets and we had to level up. But two, what it also shows, DJ's back, what it also shows is that other teams around us will strengthen. They ain't done their business yet. Chelsea ain't bought nothing yet. DJ, you coming back? I'm basically just talking about the 100 million Grealish thing to City. You know, City haven't bought no one yet, and they're about to get Jack Grealish for 100 million pounds potentially. Who knows? Will they get Kane? I doubt it. So there's a lot going on there, and you have to look at it and say, boy, this is why we have to turn up. This is why we have to invest, and this is why we have to be on our guard, because it ain't going to get easier. These teams are going to buy, and when City do get Grealish, which it looks 90% they will, that's going to be, you know, that's going to level them up, and we've got to be ready for that. Same with Chelsea, same with Liverpool if they get their act together. Do you know what I'm saying?
Flex, you've just ruined my day. You just ruined my day. I didn't want to hear it. No, honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like, I think there's a lot of transfers that can happen in the world at the moment, and I think Grealish going to City. And I don't know if people will agree, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad we got the players we did, because if he turns up over there with the players that they have already, it's a madness. It's a madness. And you know what? I'm a United fan, but I can recognize quality and I see it. And I think they have a quality side. But now what we've done is been aggressive in this transfer window. We're still going to buy. I didn't want us to rest on the laurels and be like, yeah, that's it now. We're done. We've done our spending. United are still in there. We're like, no, we're going to spend the cash if we can. And we're going to try to keep Pogba, spend a bit more cash, and that's how it should be. That's how we should be moving. You know what I mean? Because I think we've stolen a march on our rivals, but City are going to equal it really quickly when they bring in Grealish. So we need to make sure that on the business end and the financial end, we're doing the business, and that compensates on the pitch as well. So going into the season, it's going to be very interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting. Chelsea ain't really done much at the moment. So
nothing
I'm still waiting for them to make their move.
Especially if they let Tammy Abraham go to Arsenal for like 40 million or whatever that's going to be. You know, they're never going to do that unless they're going to get a striker. And they needed a striker even with Abraham there. So, you know, there's still like, what, 6 weeks left of the window? Like August 31st, bro. So, do you know what I mean? Maybe 5 weeks, whatever it is. But there's a hell of a lot of time left, and there's a hell of a lot of business to be done.
Yeah.
Ashutosh says, what do you think about selling Pogba for 50 million and replacing him with Neves for 30 million and Hasim Aouar for 20 million? Can you get him for that cheap? I think it will work very well for us. I don't think we can get Hasim Aouar for that cheap.
No way.
I'll be very surprised. I mean, yeah, it sounds all right if Pogba goes for 50 and you replace him with them two. But I'm just not sure how attainable that is, bro, to be honest with you. Just want to give you guys a quick update if you're just tuning in. Firstly, we've got over 1,300 people watching live, which is sick. So if you're just entering the door, obviously smash a like on the video and hit subscribe. Make sure you do that. And the headlines today that we've been covering so far is Marcus Rashford is due for shoulder surgery. He's going to be out till potentially the back end of October. The club have put out an official statement. The club have also put out an official statement confirming and clarifying the COVID situation with the breakout within the club, that no first team players have come down with COVID, which is obviously a big plus, and coaching staff as well. Hopefully it's not, you know, backroom staff that do have it, and if it is, hopefully that those guys are all right too and are asymptomatic, etc., etc. And we spoke a little bit about Kieran Trippier and the fact that he is willing to wait right up until the end of the window for a move to materialise to Man United. He's dead keen on it. We know that, so there's no change there. Just kind of as you were. United's still chasing. United's still trying to manufacture players out of the window, out of the club. Sorry, this window to get some more cash flow, to get the likes of a Trippier. Because I dare say the next set of cash will probably have to go on a midfielder. So the Trippier cash will have to come from even more kind of juice squeezed out the orange, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we'll have to wait and see. Quickly on Paul Pogba though, there's not really much of an update, but Manchester Evening News were just kind of reporting that Pogba's settled with his two kids and his wife in Manchester, etc. I take that as, are they trying to kind of put out there that that's less chance of him going because, you know, his family's settled here? I don't know. It didn't really say. It was just a kind of a claim, you know. You know, he's doing a promotional thing with Beckham now.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
The kit, you know, they're both sponsored by Adidas still, so that doesn't really mean anything for Man United. He was all over the kit though. He was all over the new kit launch.
He's feeling himself. He's feeling
himself, which is good. Do you think, you know, we could read into that a little bit? Plus the Raphael Varane, you know, FaceTime situation or Insta Live, whatever it was. Do you think that with him being on the kit could mean maybe staying, or don't get too gassed just because he was on the kit, he can still walk out of here?
Do you know what? Yeah, Pogba's he's an interesting guy because he will put things out there that hint at things, and he won't outright and come out and say things. I think the smartest thing for him in his career is to keep, honestly, and this is me not being selfish, is keep your options open. Just keep your options open until the very last minute. I think the truth is he's probably settled in Manchester with his missus and the kids, and he's made a lot of friends, and it might have helped that Rafael Varane is coming to United. So I don't know with Paul. I really don't know, because sometimes he says a lot without saying it. Do you know what I mean? So it's for me, if he stays, brilliant. Will he sign a deal though? I think the staying part's not really the big issue. It's whether he's going to sign a deal. Whether he's
that is so interesting. I think you're right. You know, the more I'm thinking, the fact that I've stayed with it so long that I was adamant that Pogba was not going to go on a free. Like, to the point where if he stays, that's fine, but he'll have to re-sign. And if he doesn't stay and doesn't sign it, then he has to be sold. But now you mentioning it, and the more I'm thinking of it, I think there's a high chance he could go into he won't sign again, but he will stay. Which I just see it as a big problem. I think it's just a 50-50. I've spoke many times about which ways that could go. If he stays and gets his head down and plays really well and we're performing really well, then it could be great. You know, we could be in with a title shout, whatever. But if he stays and he doesn't sign, and then by October, November times, we're way off the pace. He gets to January, it's all over the papers, it's all in the media. It could be the worst thing ever.
Become toxic, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
what I wanted to say with Pogba as well, I don't think I've ever said this, was that, you know, I've seen a lot of Pogba slander. I've seen it all over, like, for many years now. And what I think's happened with Pogba is this. I think that when he came to United, he was sold a project that he believed in, right? He believed Mourinho was the guy to, you know, make that project successful. Now, as we know, I think United didn't uphold their end of the bargain. And that was that we'd, you know, invest. They must have said to him, we're going to invest heavily and build a world-class squad. You'll be playing with the greatest players and blah, blah, blah. We want you to be a leader of this squad, blah, blah. And they sold it to him. So he was like, yeah, I'm coming. Why not? You know? And I think United didn't uphold their end of the bargain. Now, as fans, when we look at his performances, he's probably let down by the club, thinking you guys ain't matching my ambition. But then his performances, now the club are let down by him. So I think both parties have not, I wouldn't say lied to each other, but they both let each other down, and the relationship's become a little bit indifferent. It's a bit weird, isn't it? And I'm just hoping now that United are. I think we've invested so heavily now. I think in his last year, and he can see this. I'm hoping that is a catalyst for him staying and signing a deal, whether it's a 2-year extension, 1 year, whatever. Just sign the contract, because you're going to get paid big anyway. It's a weird one. If he goes, I think, but for me, I think it's coming to that time now. I think within the next 2 weeks, Flex, the situation is going to be very clear. I think a statement
going to intensify,
It was going to intensify, and we'll know exactly what's going on. We'll know if he's.
But wait there, do you think there will be a state if he stays but don't sign? Do you think it will be like? I think it will just be a hush-hush thing where we're like, okay, so what's going on? Where he's getting picked and he's playing, but he ain't signed nothing. And I just think that I don't think there will be a statement if he stays but don't sign. Which, to the point, Ollie will get asked every day in the press. If that happens, every single day they're going to say latest on Paul, latest on Paul, latest on Paul. To the point where they're going to have to come out and say something. But if he hasn't signed, it's like I say about Ollie saying this player's in my plans, that player's got a future area. Mate, when it gets to the Saturday afternoon, the Sunday evening games, and that player ain't even on the bench or ain't making your 11 or never coming off the bench, it don't matter what you say in the presser. We know that you ain't picking him. So if we know that it don't matter what Ollie says, he still ain't signed a thing, like, it could be very peak. I think that could happen.
Do you know what, Flex, yeah? You see, Ollie will give those responses of, so what's going on with Pogba, Ollie? You know, has he committed his future to the club? But Ollie will come out with a blanket statement and be like, well, Paul knows that I think he's a great top player. He's been training well this week. He's shown nothing but he's a lovely boy.
professionalism,
and that's his answer to the question.
100%, 100%. That is true. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to have that one just saved there in the drafts, ready to press send every time, or have it scheduled, bro, just ready. Because until Pogba signs it, that's all the journalists are going to ask, and rightly so, because we want to know. The fans want to know. So I can see a lot of that happening, because if he doesn't sign, the season's 2 weeks away. Would he have signed by 2 weeks? It doesn't feel like, because I think, because it's like a transfer saga, people like Romano and in the know journalists and big accounts, and even the UK journalists who are close to the club, who get briefed by the club, who get the bits of information directly from the club, even they will have little updates as it progresses. Do you know what I mean? And we haven't even heard negotiations are going really well, or final stages, or, you know, we heard a couple of weeks ago, I think, about 10 days ago, that he rejected the 350k a week. We don't know how true that is. That was just a couple of reports. Yeah. But then you get some conversely arguing reports that are saying, look, they're just working on it, but things are just quite slow right now. So we don't, the truth is we don't know, innit? We don't know. But I feel like he's not near to signing it. I don't think within the next few days you get an announcement he's just signed. There will be like journalists getting little bits of information saying Paul Pogba is close, or talks are now accelerating rapidly. There'll be a movement. There'll be some noise, and there's nothing right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's close at all. As you said, there's not even like a trinkle of information. There's nothing. It's kind of like hush hush. And I think United's doing. I think United's just like, you know what, we're not going to deal with this right now. You're still going to be here for a year anyway. They're probably thinking, you know what, we won't even address it in the open. We'll try and sort something out behind closed doors. But for now, we'll focus on bringing players in, because I think the priority right now is actually bringing players in. If they bring in a very good CDM, I don't think we'll get a world-class CDM. That's just my opinion. I think we'll get a very good player, though. I think if we get a good player in there, they can use that to take to him and say, look, we've just signed blah, blah, blah. He'll be playing with you in the midfield. If it's a good player, Foggy's like, yeah, actually, I can trust him. I can work with this guy. You know what I mean? My whole thing, though, is Flex, it's like we're caught in two minds, United. It's like we're doing a lot of pandering to Pogba. He's had a lot of, in my opinion, excuses over the years. Well, we weren't playing the right formation. Well, he hasn't had that CDM. Well, this and that. And we're always trying to cater to him. It's time for him to kind of give us something now. It's time for him to say, you know what, I'm staying, I'm going to sign a contract. Because we've done a lot of pandering. And this ain't me being toxic, but Mourinho, he outlasted Mourinho. And I think United made a clear decision who they were picking in that battle. So he's outlasted the manager. We've tried to rotate positions. We've played him here. We played him there. We played him in different partnerships. We're trying to literally pander to this guy. He needs to meet us halfway now. That's me as a fan. Meet us halfway now. Commit your future to the club. You see the team. You see you see what he's trying to build. You see now we've done heavy investment already, and it isn't going to stop. Like, you know, we're building something here. So it's for me, it's black and white. Do you want to be here? If I was the manager, I'm saying, Paul, come in my office. Do you want to be here? Well, you know, you're gonna probably smile. Oh, well, you know, if you're and Aaron, go 50 million. That's the price. 50 million come in. You can go with our blessing. Not on a toxic thing. Great player, like the guy, but you can go for 50 million. And let's just keep the ball rolling and keep it moving. But United, I feel they're trying to like pander to him a bit. New deals. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. They just got to choose what side of the fence they're going to be on.
Yeah, I just think it's something that's going to drag out. I think the season will start and he still wouldn't have signed yet. So, like I said, in every press conference, it's going to be, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Even if he does sign, like, I still think there could be something behind that of, we'll let you go next year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give us a year, you know, sign this with whether we do good or bad next year. We'll accept any offers, but we're protected. You're protected. And then see how you get on with this new batch of players as well. Yeah. And then you never know. Something special could happen this year where we win something big, you know, go deep into challenging for the league, win the league, whatever. And then maybe that could change his mind. But I don't know. I feel like he wants, well, we know he wants to go. Well, I don't even know if that's even fair to say. Do we know that?
I think he wants to go, Flex.
I feel like I do. I feel like he wants to go. I just don't like putting words in players' mouths. But I suppose when we was on tour 2019, like I said, there in China, he said I wanted a new challenge then. He actually said it then. managed to overcome that, and it was crazy. It was crazy. He fully said it. Now, if you go on YouTube and find it, he said it. I'm looking to try something new. Maybe trying something new will be good for me, or something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
He has said it, and then not coming out and silencing the agent at times where he can, if he represents you, I suppose signals. Yeah, I probably do. So, but it's such a weird one because people, it's like he doesn't, if he doesn't act like someone who doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like it does in terms of like some of the noises that he doesn't like shut them down. But like you said, around the training ground, around on the pitch, you ask the players, the relationship he has, he's not throwing his toys out the pram. He's not going on strike and being a bastard about it. Like he's not that guy. He's always happy because he, like you said, he's like a kid. As long as the football's at his feet and he's on the green grass kicking ball, he's happy. Yeah. But the bigger picture is, I just don't think he wants to stay here for that long.
Yeah, he leaves. Longer. He's very ambiguous. I think that's the word. Like,
yes.
He's very ambiguous. He doesn't let on, and then he might say something, but then you'll see him laughing and joking with the badge. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking if he wasn't in that kit launch, that would have been the writing on the wall for me.
Yeah.
But he's all smiling, grinning teeth. He's got a nice smile. Do you know what I mean? He's enjoying himself, and you think, wait, does he want to go? Does he want to stay? Does he want to go? I think for me, I think he wants to go. But I think the most telling thing is that of all the things he has said, which is quite minimal to be fair, his agent's done most of it. Out of all the things he has said, he hasn't said he wants to stay. So it's like, if you think about it, he hasn't said I want to stay. He said, I want a new challenge. He could easily say, yeah, I love United, I want to be here with you.
Yeah, you're not saying anything. You're not saying anything, yeah. No, because what players who have like been at a club a long time and maybe a club captain, or players who have clear intentions of staying, not everyone's the same. So I'm not going to, because he's not the only one. Some players just choose to just let their agent do their job and I just don't say anything. That is why I pay you. Fair enough if that's your tactic. But there are certain players who go, everybody knows how much I love this. They're very outspoken and outright. And it's just a difference of character, because some characters go, the fans know I love it here. I've spoken to the manager already. And we'll see where we get to. But everybody knows how much I love this club and how much I want to continue to play here, or whatever. But when it's a bit, maybe not, I don't really know. You just don't say anything. And on top of that, it depends what type of person you are.
Yeah, I think with Pogba as well, I think a part of a reason as well why he's maybe not speaking out as much is because the lay of the land has changed. Like Pogba 3-4 years ago would have had Real Madrid 100 million. Yeah, we'll buy him 80 million, whatever it is. But now the lay of the land's changed. There's COVID. Prices are different now. Teams have been hitting the pockets. Teams can't come in and put down a massive deal and pay him all of this. So it's like he's kind of in a weird scenario where he probably does want to go, but the teams, they're not knocking at the door as much as they were, as they would have been 4 years ago, Flex. So, he's at a team that has maybe not fulfilled to his expectations as Paul Pogba, the international star, and maybe broken some promises to him. It's a weird one. And 50 million for Pogba right now, I think is very, it's low, but I think that's the best price we can get, especially in a post-pandemic football.
100%. Jack Lynch says, if Pogba doesn't want to stay, then let him go. No hard feelings. United have moved on players such as Cantona, Beckham, Ronaldo, Keane, Van Nistelrooy. 100%. I agree. That's probably the super chat of the day. It's that simple. It goes with a blessing. It can work. Abraham, Man United fan life, says, hello, Flex. Did you see Varane was very emotional this morning when he was in Real Madrid training, and Varane will be coming to Man United tomorrow or Sunday? I did see that, and I watched the video. I don't know if you've seen it, DJ.
Yeah, I did.
Of him saying his goodbyes. Just on that, to finish off actually on a positive, what a well-respected guy. What a decorated guy. What a way for a big club to move. That is the real meaning of when you give proper service to a club. You leave with their blessing. We have a good relationship with Real Madrid. I really liked watching that. Obviously because he's our player now and he's coming, but it does show you. It does show you the type of person he is and how well respected he is amongst his peers and his colleagues, his fellow players, his fellow teammates. And Ollie spoke a lot about it as well, and he speaks about it almost on every signing. I've noticed it, and you can tell by the types of players he's going for. The first thing Ollie always says is, a fantastic professional, but an even better person. Like he wants he wants good people with good morals in that dressing room. It's all right. It's all right being good enough, but if you're not a very nice person, he doesn't want you anywhere near it. And with that Varane kind of leaving video and the respect he was got, even when he was walking around with the Real Madrid president, just looking at all the trophies they'd won, it did just kind of make me feel, wow, what a great guy we're getting off the field as well, as a professional and as a person, let alone the player that we're actually getting and how good he is.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, I seen that this morning, I think just before I contacted you, and I was thinking, like, this guy, like, is such a nice, humble human being. He's won a lot, and you know, a lot of players would have been, all right, see you lot later, bye. Like, he went back, took the time to, you know, really kind of take it all in.
And
like,
all the other players were buying in. All the big man, Modric, Cruz, Ben, they're going, yo, Marcelo. They're saying, yo, bro. Because
like,
he's a big man player.
Yeah, he is. And think about it, like, defenders, I think, sometimes are unsung heroes. He's been there, 10 plus years, and he's put in worldies. He's played against the best of the best and a great servant to Real Madrid. And he's a humble individual. And I think what Ollie's doing as well, and you know what, we have to big up Ollie. I know a lot of people criticize, you know, his management style and stuff like that, but come on, like, the guy is building a culture here. He's building something here in terms of, it's not about how good you are. It's about how you are as a person also. And I think he got that from Fergie. Fergie used to want to bring in nice, humble players. Everyone's not always going to be humble, but he knew where the parts would fit together and mesh together to create a winning mentality. And I think that is something with Varane now, you know, with Pogba in the team, Bruno, we want to win. De Gea, we want to win now. We want to win. There's a mentality there. We've tasted it a little bit second, and then, you know, coming up short in the Europa, like, we've tasted it now. So now it's time to kick on. Biggest season for United.
Biggest season for United. Listen, DJ, it's been a pleasure again, bro. Always good to catch up. Always good to chop it up, talk United. Thank you to everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new as well. And we'll be back. What day does it say? Well, I was going to be at the game tomorrow, bringing you reaction. I was going to be bringing you fan views and road trips and stuff. But obviously, I know you guys know I'm dedicated and I'm always on the move. I ain't that dedicated. I'm not driving all the way up to Preston when there's no game. Yeah. So we'll have some more transfer news tomorrow, and we'll see you guys then. Big up to watching. Big up for all the positive comments. Big up for getting involved as well. And if you have just joined us at the back end of the video, obviously go watch it from the start. But we touched on Marcus Rashford. Shoulder surgery is incoming, and he's going to be out until the back end of October. We spoke about Kieran Trippier potentially wanting to wait until the end of the window so that he Manchester United can go in for him then. We did touch a little bit on Jack Grealish going to Manchester City, and DJ said it ruined his day. And then we went on to speak about a little bit about Paul Pogba and Varane as well. So big up to yourself for tuning in. Smash a like on the video, and I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Peace.